Okay, so today I have a little bit of a different angle. I'm going to try to start experimenting with just where I put the camera and stuff, try to make it a little better, make it look a little better because it's kind of boring to just stare at a wall. The first thing that I want to say before I get into today's video is that if you've heard me mention I have this on my wall, then that is what I'm talking about. I basically just put down like quotes and phrases that are helpful for me, but I know where all the important ones are, and I can always, when I'm experiencing something, I can think, oh, I have something for this on my wall, and I can look on the wall, and it's always really helpful. So yeah, that's something that I've been growing for a long time. I feel like it'd be super cool to have it all across the wall, but yeah, I'm very proud of it. It looks cool, and it's also just actually helpful. So that's the first thing I wanted to say. I've actually never showed that on camera before. I don't think. Maybe I have. But this is it's cool. I like it. And then, so that's the thing that I wanted to say before I get into today's video. Okay, so today is September 12th, Thursday. And today I learned that everybody has 24 hours in a day. And we all don't really know 100% sure that we're going to wake up tomorrow. Which is kind of morbid and sad, but I'm trying to say this to be, I don't know. If you woke up today and you did stuff, then be grateful for that, I guess. Because I love time blocking, which is a time management technique where you basically just block out every part of your day in your schedule in a calendar and then try to execute on that. I love doing that, and it's very helpful for me, and it has been very transformative for my time management. I time block within weeks. So I try to time block my whole week at the beginning of the week. But basically what I'm trying to say is that I think of time and of life as all the days being connected. But in reality, we only ever have one more day. And you don't have to have all of these days be connected. If you do something meaningful and do something that improves your life career-wise, relationship-wise, happiness-wise, fulfillment-wise, if you just do that every day, then when you do connect to the days, then you will see the growth. But we really only ever have one more day on this earth. You don't know if you're going to live for tomorrow, which is sad, but hopefully you understand what I'm saying. You don't know if you're going to live for the rest of this year. So take every day and make the most of it. Because you're only ever in this one day, and if you just waste it, then it's it's a shame that you wasted the one unit of living that you have in this life. I don't know if that makes sense. Yeah, make the most of your day. I guess I was thinking about this because I was doing school, and school days are very connected, right? You have a school year, you have breaks, you have semesters, you have modules and chapters and the tests at the ends of those. It's very connected. All the days are very connected. And every day, my main tasks for the day are school, which are all, I'm doing little chunks of this whole connected course, which is all connected to the school year, which is all connected to my academic career. But that is just one aspect of my life. My academics are not my life. They are the main tasks for the day, but they shouldn't define my day. So often when people are asking me oh, what did you do this week? How's life been? I'm always just school. I'm only doing school. That's not true. I do other things. But that's when I think, what did I do today? The main tasks that come up are school, which is not bad. And I'm not saying that's bad, and I need to do that if I want to. I do eventually want to go to college someday. So I do want to, be good at that. I don't know. It's just weird that we have these little, parts of our lives that we just do every day like kind of on autopilot, and we don't realize like I am living right now. And there are so many things that I can do in this world, and I'm choosing to do these things. Now, I'm not saying that doing school or choosing to do something is a bad thing to choose to do. Like, that's okay that you choose to do those things. It's different for each person. It's just always been so fascinating to me ever since I was younger that one, like, I am alive. Like, I am a human. I could be that tree, but I'm not a tree. I'm a human. But also, two, like, there's so many things you can do in this world. There's so many things. So many good things, so many bad things, so many random things. And depending on how you choose from those millions of things that you could do every day, dramatically changes your life. And that's just so interesting to me. I feel like I've talked about this before in a previous video. I guess I'm just trying to say that make the most of your day. Make sure that the things that you are doing are actually things that you are choosing to do and that you know will propel your life forward. Like, I'm choosing to do school because I know that I want to go to college someday, and I love learning, and I know that that's what I want to do with my life. I choose to work out and go outside and work on my softball because I know that someday I want to play at the highest level that I can play at for as long as possible. So choosing to do that helps me propel my life in that direction. I choose to make these videos every day because I want to have a YouTube channel that where I can talk about what I want to talk about, where I can build a community of people who are also interested in those things, where we can exchange information and try to help each other, like, do what I'm doing, like, help each other choose these things we're doing and help each other go about those things in a good way. This is kind of the center to life. This is not the purpose. If I think about life, the three, like, whenever I'm analyzing something, I always think about why, what, and how. So what is the why? Like, what is the purpose of life? For me, and I hope that I will spread this to others, this purpose to life that I have, my purpose in life, my purpose is to glorify God and to be Christ-like. Those are the ultimate things that I want to do within my life. And that goes for everything, over everything that I do. So that is my purpose in life. One thing on purposes in life, if you don't have a purpose in life and you don't really know why you're doing the things you're doing, you don't know why you're doing school, you don't know why you want to go to college, you don't know why you're doing all of these things, then I encourage you to find those whys. Because on the small scale, like, why do I want to go to college, or why do I want to learn this skill? On the small scale, it's very helpful for motivation and just understanding what you want to do with your life. But on a large scale, like, why do you want to live? What is the purpose of this life? I highly encourage you to discover and just do a deep dive on that, especially from a Christian perspective, because that is what I believe, and hopefully you can believe that too, because it's the truth. I hope you understand what I'm saying. Find your why for life and just for the everyday things that you do, because it's just helpful in every way. Yeah. What is life? From a literal sense, from a literal perspective, life is like cells that are whose purpose is to just keep themselves functioning, which is kind of weird. I'm doing anatomy right now, and I've just been thinking about that. Like, every cell is there just so that it can keep living, and so that our bodies can just keep surviving. And now, like, all of those cells form me. Like, it's very cool. Anyways, in a physical sense, like, it's made of cells and all that stuff. But in a abstract sense, what is life? I guess life is... Oh my goodness, I was about to say life is living, but that would be a circular definition, and I don't want to be one of those kind of people. I don't know, what is life? I know the purpose of life is to glorify God and to be Christ-like and do everything for Him. And life is just the way that we do that. Life is a medium by which we glorify God. And it's a medium of action. Life is ultimately, it is active. Life is not passive, life is active. It's just a medium for action, and it is one medium for glorifying God. This is another thing that has always fascinated me. The fact that gravity is a thing, cells are a thing, atoms are a thing. Like, can you imagine, like, other ways that life could have been created that would have things that we couldn't even think of, that are, like, not comprehensible by our brain? Like, life could have been created, like, gravity is a thing because, like, that makes sense with, like, the earth and the magnetic poles and, like, that kind of thing. But imagine if the life was created and the world was created in just, like, a completely different way. But, like, I can't even explain what that would look like because it's, like, incomprehensible. Like, imagine if life was created, like, no gravity, the planets were squares, and, like, what if we didn't have planets? What if we were all just floating around in space? What if we didn't communicate with audio? What if audio wasn't a thing? Like, I hope you understand this kind of rabbit trail that I'm going down. This has always fascinated me, that, like, life is just the way it is. And the way it is, like, the perfect way that it could be. Like, the world was created perfectly, and then we messed it up. Anyways, why is life, what is the purpose of life? To glorify God and be Christ-like. What is life? Life is an active and living process, and is the medium by which we glorify God. I guess the why, the what, and the how is going further down in scope, because once we get to the how do we do life? I guess that's kind of what I'm talking about on this channel. Now that I think about it, this channel is talking about how do we do life. Through the why, the what, and the how, we're getting smaller scale. So the why, like, what is the overall purpose of this life that we live? The what of life is, like, life is the medium for that purpose. And then the how of life, that is the medium for that purpose. It just, like, it gets broken down into a smaller and smaller scale. And I guess that, like I said, I guess that's kind of just what I'm talking about on this channel. How do we go about life? Just mindsets to have, things to take action on, ways that you can make your life the most that it can be, and make your life the most glorifying to God that it could be. I need to include that more in my videos. I have the idea to not only have an action point in every single video, but to also have a explanation of how doing that thing it relates to God and helps glorify God. So I think I'm going to start including that in my videos. How we go about life goes back to what I was talking about at the very, very beginning of this video, which is just how we go about life is determined by what we do in 24 hours. I think I've mentioned this before, but there's a quote. I have it here. It says, "If you repeated today for 100 days, how would your life turn out?" So if you can find that one day template that if you repeated, like, would glorify God the most, would make the most of your life, then I guess that's kind of the goal. Because if your life is determined by how you spend these 24 hours, and you perfect, which is practically impossible to perfect anything, but if you, like, get it as good as you can, with slight hiccups and with slight adjustments along the way, like, you can, like, that's the way. I kind of just figured this out as I was talking. That is the purpose of this channel. Personally, for me, this channel is just so I can talk about the ideas and the things that I think of and hear about, and how I'm applying it to my life, and how you guys can apply it to yours. But I guess in an overall grand scheme of things, I'm just talking about how can we do life? Like, what are the things we can do in these 24 hours, and how can we shape these 24 hours as best as we possibly can, so that we can make the most out of life and glorify God as much as possible and as much as we can. I hope this makes sense. I hope you follow along with me. I guess to recap, the purpose of life is to glorify God and to be Christ-like. The what of life, like, the attributes of life is that it is an active medium by which we can glorify God and become Christ-like. And how we go about that, there's so many millions of different things you can do in this life that are glorifying to God, and then things that aren't glorifying to God. And if we can shape our 24 hours, the 24 hours is the ultimate time at which we go about life, and at which we shape our life and shape our goal and shape the purpose of life, which was to glorify God. So if we can shape that 24 hours to do the things that glorify God and to live out our lives focused on Him, while also just trying to make the most of it that we can along the way, I think that's the formula. That's kind of what I've been talking about on this channel. I've been talking about like mindsets that you can utilize every day, things that you can take action on, maybe like even smaller things. Like yesterday I was talking about communication. Communication is such a tiny little piece of tidbit of life, but it is a way that we can glorify God, and it is a way that we can make the most of life. Like if we communicate well, so many good things happen from that. So hopefully you will come along for the ride as we, not just me, but as we try to figure out how can we shape these 24 hours as best as possible so that we can ultimately glorify God and make the most out of our life in the process. If you enjoyed this video, then please like it because it's very helpful for me. And also check out my other videos. I think this is my 59th video, possibly. So I've been posting every single day, daily insights talking about how I am applying some concept or idea to my life and how you guys can apply it to yours. So if you want to see that kind of see those kind of videos every single day, and if you want to come along for the ride, trying to figure out how we can shape our lives as best as possible, then subscribe, because that is what I am doing on this channel, and that is what you will get. I'm trying to have absolute pure facts only and just be as valuable, give as much value as possible for both of us, so we can go through life together and so that we can make the most out of life together. So I need to stop yapping. It's already been, oh my goodness. Dude, it's been 20 minutes. If you want to see these videos, then subscribe. And if you subscribe, then you can see tomorrow's video as soon as it comes out. So I will see you then. We got this. Bye.